Now that I've collected these three icons, I'm going to turn them into something entirely new. Transfigoro! Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com, and today we have a Halloween-themed camera comparison between the iPhone 16, the Galaxy S24, and the Pixel 9. Curious to see which one performed best in this mysterious showdown? Stick around and you might be spooked by the results. Starting with the wide-angle camera, the iPhone 16 features a 48-megapixel lens, while both the Samsung Galaxy S24 and the Google Pixel 9 come equipped with 50-megapixel modules. For the ultra-wide camera, the iPhone 16 and Galaxy S24 both have 12-megapixel lenses, whereas the Pixel 9 stands out with a 48-megapixel ultra-wide module. Neither the iPhone nor the Pixel include a telephoto lens, while Samsung offers a 10-megapixel telephoto lens with 3 times optical zoom. In terms of video recording, both the iPhone 16 and Pixel 9 max out at 4K at 60 FPS, while the Galaxy S24 can record up to 8K at 30 FPS. On the front, Apple and Samsung feature 12-megapixel selfie cameras, while Google uses a 10.5-megapixel front-facing camera. All three phones can shoot up to 4K at 60 FPS with the selfie cameras. Now, let's go out trick-or-treating and see how these cameras perform. Keep in mind that points are awarded on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the best. So as always, we're gonna be starting off with standard wide photos because that is the mode that we feel people use most frequently. In this first set, while the Samsung and Pixel photos are quite similar, the Pixel does a better job handling the exposure between the leaves. The iPhone performs the worst in this scenario, delivering an underexposed shot while also blowing out the highlights in the sky. In this next shot of the ruins of a Gothic church, the Pixel once again produces the most balanced photo with excellent control over the exposure. Both the Samsung and iPhone photos are nearly identical, with only slight differences in contrast and color saturation. In this indoor scene, we got some interesting results. While the iPhone's photo may appear overly warm, it's actually the most accurate, as there was a ray of light passing through a stained glass window. The Pixel overcorrected the white balance, however, it handled the exposure well. The Galaxy's photo is the weakest due to inaccurate white balance and overly lifted shadows. Moving on to ultra-wide photos. Ultra-wide mode is a really good one when you want to get more of the scenery in your shot. In this ultra-wide photo, all three phones performed exceptionally well, accurately managing the dynamic range between the bright sky and my dark outfit, making this one a clear draw. Next up, the iPhone captured more detail in the darkest parts of this photo, such as the lower part of the train's front bumper and my costume. Both the Galaxy and Pixel deliver similar images with a noticeable lack of detail in the shadows. Indoors, at first glance, all three photos look quite similar. However, the iPhone is the only device that manages to capture the detail in the stained glass window, despite introducing heavy noise in the darker areas. Samsung and Google are tied once again, each with their own shortcomings. Samsung struggles with the surrounding light coming from the central window, while Google's photo lacks overall sharpness. Here I am with my friends Hermione, Harry, and Ron, and we're about to test out portrait mode to see which device gives us the best results. As always, we love to conduct a sneaky blind test and see which photo you guys would vote for if no brand names are visible. After counting up the votes from our Instagram and YouTube socials, the race for first place was tight. The iPhone 16 took first place with 44% of the votes, followed very closely by the Galaxy S24 with 42%. In a distant third was the Pixel with only 14% of the votes. After reviewing the three photos, we have to say that we agree with your choice. In this portrait with my wizard friends, the iPhone captures the best photo, effectively separating the foreground from the background, even managing to detect my magic wand. Pretty magical, right? The Galaxy's photo comes in second, delivering a mostly accurate crop, but it failed to blur the empty space between my friends. The Pixel lands in last place, struggling with the foreground edges. In this second set of photos with a very high dynamic range, the iPhone once again performs the best, although it struggles a bit with my hair this time. The Pixel, while not perfect, delivers a well-balanced photo, while the Galaxy struggles to focus on the subject. Finally, in this indoor portrait shot with tricky lighting, it's a tie as all three phones perform well, each with its own pros and cons. The Samsung is the only one that accurately captures the color of the scene, but it lacks detail. The iPhone delivers a sharp image, but it overcorrects the white balance. Lastly, the Pixel produces a visually pleasing photo, but also overcorrects the white balance. So as we all know, videos are a crucial part of your smartphone, so you gotta ensure you've got the best video quality possible. Let's put these bad boys to the test and see which one delivers. In this first outdoor set taken with the wide lens, the iPhone produces the sharpest video. However, like the other two devices, it struggles with lens flare. The Pixel takes second place, delivering rich colors, while Samsung finishes last as it struggles to balance the dynamic range. Moving indoors, the story repeats itself, with the iPhone taking first place, accurately capturing the light and colors of this warm scene, though it does struggle to manage artificial light flickering. The Pixel handles artificial flickering effectively, but it could use more sharpness. The Galaxy's video, while sharp, it leans too heavily toward a blue-white balance. When using the ultra-wide lens for video, both the iPhone and Pixel deliver virtually identical footage, with only slight differences in color balance. The Galaxy falls behind as its video appears more smudged compared to the other two phones. When shooting indoors with the ultra-wide lens, all three devices deliver very similar results, with only slight variations in white balance. However, all of them also struggle with noticeable noise in the darker areas of the footage. Onto stabilization, which is crucial to get that buttery, smooth video footage that we want. So let's go for a walk, then we'll go for a jog with active stabilization on. When it comes to stabilization, all three phones do an excellent job at keeping things steady while walking at a normal pace, producing a smooth video without visible camera shake. Once we switch on active stabilization, the iPhone, though far from perfect, produces the best video, handling heavy movement and direction changes the best. The Galaxy comes in second with some noticeable camera shake. The Pixel performs the worst as its electronic image stabilization lags during direction changes. Time for some selfies in this incredible looking museum. Let's see which one of these makes me look best. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to test out front camera video and audio. Next up, both the iPhone and Pixel deliver excellent photos with accurate skin tones and plenty of detail. The Galaxy's algorithms reduce contrast too much and add a heavy magenta tint. Indoors, the story repeats itself. The iPhone and Pixel once again take the lead with very pleasing photos, while Samsung delivers an image with an overly cool white balance. Once the sun goes down, it's the Pixel that takes the lead. It delivers a well-balanced image with accurate skin tones and a good level of sharpness without overdoing it. Next comes the iPhone, which also provides correct white balance but lacks detail. Samsung comes last as its algorithms once again struggle with white balance. Switching to video mode, it's no surprise that the iPhone delivers the best result. The footage is sharp and well balanced. Both the Samsung and Pixel lag behind. The S24 sets an incorrect cool white balance, while Pixel 9 lacks overall sharpness. So now we're going to test out the audio on all of these devices, starting with the Samsung Galaxy S24. What do we think? How do I sound on here? Moving on to the iPhone 16. How's the noise cancellation on this bad boy? What do we think? And finally, the Pixel 9. Is it better than the other two? Let's discuss it. In audio, the Google Pixel excels at reducing background noise while boosting speech, delivering clear audio even in noisy environments. The Galaxy comes in second with clear speech, though some city noise is still audible. Last is the iPhone though, as its background noise cancellation leaves much to be desired. Time to test out zoom. The Galaxy can go up to 30 times, the iPhone 10 times, and the Pixel only 8 times. But does that mean the Galaxy is better? We're about to find out. We zoomed in on the clock of Berlin City Hall to test the zoom capabilities of these devices. At 2x zoom, the Pixel takes the lead, striking a good balance between digital sharpness and highlight handling. At 5 times zoom, the Galaxy clearly produces the best photo thanks to its dedicated telephoto lens with 3 times optical zoom. Surprisingly, Google's camera algorithms deliver a decent result despite the Pixel 9 lacking a dedicated telephoto lens. At 10 times zoom, the story repeats itself with the Galaxy once again delivering the sharpest photo. At 30 times zoom, while far from perfect, the Galaxy takes the win as it's the only device capable of delivering a photo straight out of the camera at this zoom level. Slow-mo is not a necessity, but it's definitely a cool feature to have on your smartphone. So let me slide down this slide and we'll test out the slow motion. When it comes to warping time, at 120 FPS, the Galaxy takes first place. It handles highlights well, but darkens the shadows too much. However, it earns an extra point as the only device capable of filming at 4K resolution. The iPhone captures more detail in the shadows but blows out the bright areas. The Pixel handles exposure efficiently but produces an overly smooth result. When we slow down time even further, at 240 FPS, both the Galaxy and iPhone deliver very similar footage, earning the same points. The Pixel, however, falls behind with footage that again lacks detail. Moving on to macro mode, let's see what kind of magic these phones can make. In this shot of our office pet plant, the Pixel takes first place, accurately capturing the leaf's true tone and delivering a narrow depth of field. The iPhone delivers a detailed photo, though the colors are slightly off. The Galaxy places third, struggling to focus on the subject and adding too much saturation. In the second macro set, featuring the eye of Max, our video editor, both the iPhone and Pixel deliver good results, though each has its own shortcomings. The Pixel nails the skin tones but applies too much sharpening, while the iPhone has an off-white balance but achieves a more natural look. Samsung produces an overly artificial photo with added blur that unfocuses areas that should remain sharp. In this first set taken with the wide-angle lens, the iPhone and Pixel are tied for points. The Pixel offers a more accurate color balance but suffers from slight blur. The iPhone also produces a high-quality photo, though it introduces a slight green tint. Lastly, we're not sure what happened with the Galaxy, as it produced shadows tinted heavily green. In ultra-wide, the Pixel, while not perfect, takes the lead by efficiently balancing the dynamic range of the scene. Next is the Samsung, which starts to lose detail in the dark areas and introduces a noticeable green undertone. The iPhone comes in last, struggling to capture detail in the shadows and introducing excessive noise. In portrait mode, both the Galaxy and iPhone deliver the most true-to-life colors. However, both phones suffer from significant noise. The Pixel, although delivering a contrast-rich photo, leans too heavily into magenta tones and struggles with edge detection. In video, the iPhone takes first place, accurately handling the white balance in the dark scene. The Galaxy and Pixel are tied for second, producing videos with saturation at opposite ends of the spectrum. The Galaxy is overly saturated, while the Pixel appears washed out. Switching to the ultra-wide lens brings interesting results. The most true-to-life video comes from the Pixel, which captures the scene's darkness accurately and maintains consistent exposure. The iPhone, although it captures more sky detail, lacks overall contrast. Last is the Samsung, which struggles with exposure and introduces strong green undertones in the shadows. Alright, let's do a quick summary and see who the winners are. Our scoring system is based on order of importance, therefore in categories such as wide, ultra-wide, portrait, and videos, we have a higher percentage, whereas in less important categories, such as audio, zoom, slow motion, and macro, the percentage is lower. For photos taken with the wide camera, the Pixel comes out on top. In ultra-wide, the iPhone takes the upper hand. In portrait mode, the iPhone once again shows its superiority. For video and stabilization, the iPhone also scores the most points. In photos and videos taken with the front camera, it's a tie between the iPhone and Pixel. In audio, the Pixel outperforms the other two devices, while in zoom, the Galaxy clearly takes the win thanks to its dedicated zoom lens. The Galaxy also excels in slow motion, while the Pixel leads in macro shots. Finally, in low-light night conditions, the Pixel takes the upper hand. After summing up all of the categories, we can confidently say that the iPhone 16 wins the spooky camera comparison. However, it was followed very closely by the Pixel 9, which also won multiple categories. And I know you don't want to hear it, but unfortunately, the Galaxy S24 comes in a distant third. We really hope that Samsung will bring some much-needed improvements to the camera department in next year's S25 series. So which of these devices fits your style best? Definitely let us know in the comments. If you're curious to see how the top-tier versions of these devices compare, be sure to check out the video coming up next. You might be surprised by the results. Before you go, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and hit subscribe, as we're always testing new devices to help you make the best choice. Links to all of the devices mentioned in this video can be found in the description below. Happy Halloween to all of you, and we'll see you in our next video. Until then, take care.
You are biased.
Quiet, Dobby.